Rain pounded the hospital roof like urgent warnings. Fluorescent lights flickered over Emily Grant's pale face. Her fingers trembled on the sterile stretcher rail. The odor of antiseptic burned her nostrils. A distant monitor beeped an uneven rhythm. She blinked, disoriented by the syringe of anesthesia. Her vision blurred into harsh white and gray. A harsh breeze rattled a nearby window pane. Footsteps clicked sharply down the linoleum hall. Each step felt like a drumbeat in her chest. Her heart pounded in sync with the monitor's alarm. Memories, surged of a teenage crush turned cruel rejection. She swallowed past a dry throat and closed her eyes. A thunderous crash echoed as metal trays clattered. Emily jolted, her pulse spiking in panic. She tried to speak, but only a whisper escaped. A tall figure in blue scrubs filled her vision. His eyes, the same stormy gray from her past, paused. Her breath caught at the memory of his cold smile. Her throat constricted with dread and disbelief. Lightning flashed outside, illuminating his face. He adjusted his mask with steady, practiced fingers. Her blood felt frozen under the harsh lights. She pressed her hand to her abdomen, pain flaring. The surgeon's gloved hand hovered over her IV. Every nerve in her body screamed, "Recognize him." The distant beeping grew louder, more urgent. Her pulse raced as memories of prom night swirled. She remembered his last words. "I never want to see you." A fresh wave of nausea swept her spine. She gasped against the pain and the, fear. The surgeon whispered, "Stay with me, Emily." His voice was calm, professional, too calm. Her lips parted in shock at the name he used. Her mind flickered back to 17, to Heartbreak. Her vision tunneled on his scrub cap tag. Dr. Ryan Cole. Her breath hitched as realization struck. Like lightning. Ryan Cole. The boy who shattered her young heart. Now here, beneath his steady hands, her life hung. She tried to curl away on the narrow stretcher. A stab of terror shot through her ribs. The surgeon's hand clasped her shoulder firmly. She felt the steady pressure, cold and certain. His voice softened behind the mask. "You're in good hands." Her chest tightened with conflicted panic and hope. A sharp pain jolted her as monitors flatlined. The beeping halted, plunging the room into silence. Emily's eyes snapped open in desperate alarm. Ryan's gloved palm hit a button on the console. Red lights blinked. Nurses dashed into view. He reached for her wrist, checking her pulse. Her vision swam as he called her name. A sudden flush of adrenaline sharpened her focus. She locked eyes, with him through the mask edge. His gaze flickered with guilt and something softer. A siren wailed in the distance of her mind. He knelt beside her, voice low but firm. "I won't let you slip away, Emily." Her heartbeat thundered, caught between fear and hope. Then darkness crept in at the corners of her vision. A final, muffled shout reached her fading senses. And just as everything went black, a steady voice cut through the void. "Scalpel." Emily's chest heaved as instruments gleamed above her. Her last thought hung on one burning question. Could she trust the boy who once broke her heart? Emily Grant lived in a quiet Chicago suburb. Her cozy two-story home sat on Maplewood Drive. Bright hydrangeas lined the front walkway. Morning sunlight streamed through her kitchen window. She brewed strong coffee before dawn. Her twin brother, Jake, sipped tea at the table. "Big day?" he asked with a half-smile. Emily nodded, tracing the mug's warm rim. She worked as a high school biology teacher. Her classroom smelled of microscopes and textbooks. Students called her Ms. G with fond respect. She loved guiding curious minds through cell structures, but she carried a restless ache inside. Her bank account balanced on the edge. Medical bills piled after her recent diagnosis. She filled forms and waited on hold. Her landlord knocked about late rent again. Behind her bright smile lay tight, knots of worry. Emily's mother, Carol, lived 3 blocks away. They met for dinner every Tuesday night. Carol's lasagna filled Emily's kitchen with garlic. They shared laughter and old family photos. Yet Emily hid her fear about the surgery. Late at night, she replayed high school memories. He laughed when I tripped at prom, she thought. Once, his eyes held promise. Once, his words were gentle. Then came the cruel goodbye. I can't date you anymore, he said. She'd stood under an oak tree and cried. His name was Ryan Cole back then. She never expected to see him again. Her scar from surgery glimmered through her blouse. On her nightstand lay a stack of bills. A letter peeked from beneath her textbooks. She hadn't dared open it yet. At home, she cared for her tabby cat, Luna. Luna purred beside her on long evenings. The rhythmic hum soothed Emily's frayed nerves. In the afternoons, she graded papers on her porch. Kids' doodles and essays scattered the railing. She sipped iced tea and listened for lawnmowers. Neighborhood chatter drifted through open windows. Every smile hid her underlying tension. She confided only in Jake and Carol. They urged her to lean on them more. You're stronger than you know, Jake said. Carol pressed a hand to Emily's arm. I'll be with you on surgery day, she promised. Emily nodded, though worry still clenched her chest. She dressed in soft scrubs to prepare grades. A crisp seafoam green matched her calm facade. Her phone buzzed with a text from her best friend. Molly says hi, it read with emojis. Molly, a fellow teacher, kept Emily grounded. They met for coffee every Friday at Bloom's Cafe. Today, they planned to vent about school drama. But Emily's mind strayed back to that unopened letter. She stared at its jagged envelope flap. What if it's bad news? She wondered. She tucked it into her planner anyway. Inside, the words, appointment confirmation, glowed. She knew what that meant. A surgery date loomed on her calendar. The name Dr. Ryan Cole was printed clear. Her pulse slammed in her, ears at the sight. She swallowed hard and closed her eyes. Of all the doctors in Chicago, she thought, the boy who broke her heart would operate on her. A chill crawled up her spine. She hugged her planner to her chest. Rain began to patter against her window. Lightning flashed across the gray afternoon sky. Her reflection stared back from the glass. A single tear traced down her cheek. What are the odds? She whispered. Her phone chimed again with Molly's text. Ready for coffee? It asked. Emily tapped, be there, though her hand shook. She rose, steadied herself against the counter. Her cat meowed, nuzzling her calm. But inside, questions swirled like a storm. Could she face him again after all these years? She forced a small smile for Luna, then grabbed her coat and stepped into the rain. A sudden flash of fear gripped her gut. She paused on the porch, heart racing. Beyond the downpour, her future waited, and the name on that letter held a secret threat. Emily stepped into Bloom's Cafe under dripping umbrellas. Steam curled from her mug of chai latte. Molly slid a folder across the table. Open it, she urged with a gentle smile. Emily's fingers trembled as she lifted the flap. Inside lay a glossy brochure from Hope Clinic. Her heart skipped as she read the heading. Advanced Tumor Removal, Dr. Ryan Cole, MD. She stared at the familiar name again. Her pulse hammered against her wrists. Molly reached out, concern in her eyes. Emily, you okay? She whispered softly. Emily blinked away a sudden wave of nausea. She folded the brochure back into the folder. A crumpled appointment card fell out. It bore her name and a date. June 25th. She pressed her palm to her chest. Her breath came in short, ragged bursts. Molly's hand covered hers in support. Talk to me, Molly urged quietly. Emily swallowed, forcing calm into her voice. "It's him," she admitted, voice barely a whisper. Molly's brow knit with confusion. "Who?" she asked, leaning closer. "Dr. Ryan Cole," Emily said, eyes distant. Molly's face paled slightly. "The boy who broke my heart in high school," Emily said. Molly reached for the brochure. She traced the letters with a finger. "He's a top surgeon now," Molly noted. Emily nodded, tears pricking her eyes. "How do I cancel?" Emily asked, voice brittle. Molly shook her head. "It's too late," she said gently. "They need confirmation by tomorrow." Emily's hand shook as she gripped her mug. She stared out the rain-speckled window. Lightning flickered across the gray sky. Her mind raced with old memories. She remembered his tall frame at prom night, his laughter echoing as she stumbled, the sting of rejection replayed in her chest. Anger and hurt mingled with fear. What if he recognized her? What if he questioned her history? What if he refused to operate? Her heartbeat thundered at each thought. She peeked at the clock on the wall. It read 4:15 p.m. Only 10 hours remained to call. 10 hours to face him again. She grabbed her phone from her purse. Her thumb hovered over Dr. Cole's name. She dialed his office with a trembling finger. A recorded voice answered promptly. "Hope Clinic, how may I help you?" Emily cleared her throat. "I need to confirm an appointment," she said. The receptionist checked the schedule. "Doctor, Cole sees you at 9:00 a.m., she replied. September felt like a lifetime ago. Emily clenched the phone, knuckles white. "Please," she whispered. "Is there any other surgeon?" The receptionist paused before replying. "His schedule is full," she said softly. Emily's chest tightened with dread. "No cancellations until after the 25th, she added. Emily's vision swam as she hung up. Molly squeezed her hand, firmly. "We'll find another way," Molly vowed. Emily exhaled, tears falling freely now. The cafe's soft music faded around her. She felt trapped by her own body's demand. The tumor wouldn't wait on her fears. She had to face him. No, matter the cost. A racing thought pierced her panic. What if he holds my past against me? The memory of his cruel words lashed her again. "I can't date you anymore. You're too weird." Her lips trembled with rage and sorrow. But another thought flickered unexpectedly. Maybe he's changed. She pictured his focused surgeon's eyes today. Gentle, professional, and concerned. Could that be real remorse? Could he feel guilt under that mask? Her heartbeat steadied against her doubts. She rose from the booth with resolve. "Let's go," she whispered to Molly. They left the cafe into the wet streets. Rain soaked Emily's hair and coat. She lifted her face to the sky. The storm felt like a baptism. She would face him, no matter the fear. Her future depended on that white coat's hands, and on the boy who once broke her heart. Tonight she would prepare for the confrontation. Tomorrow, she would meet Dr. Ryan Cole, and the past would collide with her present. Her chest tightened with both dread and hope. A distant thunder rumbled her determination. She and Molly walked on through the storm. Emily drove home through empty streets at dusk. Her windshield wipers slapped in hurried rhythm. A black sedan tailed her at every turn. She stiffened as brake lights glowed behind. Her pulse raced with each red flash. She swerved into a side road. The sedan mirrored her move without hesitation. Her phone buzzed, an unrecognized number. She answered with trembling lips. "Stop looking for me," a deep voice warned. Line went dead. Emily's hands clenched the steering wheel. A chill crept down her spine. At home, she bolted the front door. She pressed her ear to the wood. No footsteps approached. Only her own rapid breaths echoed. A text arrived seconds later. 9 a.m. Don't cancel. Signed RC. Emily's heart lurched at the initials. She dropped her phone onto the couch. Jake burst in through the back door. Package for you, he said, holding a small box. Emily tore it open with shaking fingers. Inside lay a framed photo of her prom night. There they stood under twinkling lights. She smiling, he distant. On the frame's back, remember. Tears blurred her vision. Jake frowned. Who would do this? Emily shook her head. I don't know. Her phone chimed again with a location ping. It traced to Hope Clinic's parking lot. She gulped and sank onto the stairs. They're already watching me there. The next morning, Emily arrived at the clinic early. A new face greeted her at reception. Tall, athletic, with warm brown eyes. Emily Grant? He asked. Alex Lawson, he introduced gently. I'm Dr. Cole's surgical assistant. She stiffened at his calm tone. Alex noticed her tension. I know this is hard, he said. His voice felt steady, kind. Emily only nodded. Inside the prep room, her gown lay on a chair. She took a deep breath. Alex unpacked her personal belongings. Her ring from her mother. Photos of Jake and Luna. He placed them gently into a locker. She swallowed past a lump in her throat. Why help me? She whispered. Alex paused, then met her eyes. Because you deserve honesty, he said. She searched his face for signs of deceit. His gaze held empathy, not judgment. A soft knock interrupted them. Dr. Cole stepped into the room. His mask hid half his face, but his eyes seemed unreadable. Emily recoiled before steadying herself. Alex moved to stand between them. Dr. Cole, Emily's ready, he said. Ryan nodded curtly, then vanished behind double doors. Emily's chest tightened with dread. Alex offered his hand. Come on, he said gently. She followed him, heart pounding. In the hallway, security cameras glared down. Alex whispered, You're not alone here. She glanced around the sterile corridor. A nurse hurried past with charts. Alex led her to a private waiting room. Soft chairs circled a small table. He closed and locked the door. Tell me everything, he urged. Emily's voice wavered as she spoke. About high school. About Ryan's rejection. About her fears now. Alex listened without interrupting. When she finished, he nodded gravely. You're right to be scared, he said, but not defeated. He pulled a metal case from under his chair. Emergency kit, he explained. Inside lay surgical tools and syringes. I can delay this surgery if we need time. Her eyes widened. Why help me risk your career? Alex's jaw tightened. Because someone here is playing by old rules. He tapped at a tablet screen. A security feed showed a hooded figure entering the garage below. That's not hospital staff, he said. Emily leaned forward, dread flaring. Who is that? Alex zoomed in on the figure's jacket emblem. A red phoenix crest glowed faintly. It's connected to Ryan's old circle, he said. Emily's breath caught, the same group that teased her at school. Now they followed her here. Alex met her gaze steadily. We'll fight back, he promised. Her chest felt heavy and light at once. Hope mingled with fear in her veins. A distant alarm echoed down the hall. Alex locked the door behind him. Stay here, he ordered softly. Emily watched him go. Her heart pounded as she realized the storm wasn't over. It had only just begun. Alex found Emily in the locked waiting room. His expression was firm but encouraging. Time to prepare, he said softly. He led her down a narrow hallway. The door read, Staff only, equipment. Inside lay mats, gloves, and wooden dummies. "Self-defense first," Alex explained. He demonstrated a basic wrist lock on a dummy. Emily watched each precise movement. He handed her a pair of padded gloves. Her fingers shook as she slid them on. Alex guided her stance, feet shoulder-width apart. She shifted her weight, uncertain at first. He placed his hands on her shoulders. "Relax your neck. Bend your knees," he coached. She breathed in, then punched the air. Her fist connected with a dummy's chest. The impact rattled her spine with adrenaline. "Again," Alex urged, voice calm. She repeated the strike, stronger and surer. Sweat glistened on her forehead, under fluorescent light. Alex switched to holds and escapes. He grabbed her wrist, demonstrating a knee strike. She memorized his form, heart pounding fast. Her muscles tightened, then released into motion. Every breath fueled her concentration. Minutes turned to half an hour of drills. Each success lit confidence in her eyes. They moved to floor work, next. Alex showed her how to roll away safely. She stumbled, then found her balance again. A spark of triumph warmed her chest. "Good," Alex said, nodding approval. She spotted bruises forming on her forearms. Pain reminded her of her strength building. Next came firearms training in the garage range. She followed Alex's strict safety instructions. He taught her proper grip and trigger control. Emily's hands steadied as she aimed. Her first shot rang loud in the cold air. The target's center held her bullet's mark. A thrill of power coursed through her veins. Alex patted her shoulder with pride. "You're learning fast," he said quietly. They took a break by the tool bench. Emily's lungs heaved with exertion. She rubbed her sore wrist and smiled. "I can do this," she thought. Alex shared his own story then. He'd grown up guarding his family. Emotional scars drove his dedication to safety. Emily nodded, empathy shining in her eyes. She told him about her high school trauma. He listened, respect clear in every nod. Their bond deepened through shared vulnerability. A sudden buzzer rang from the hallway. Alex frowned and checked his tablet. "Security breach on level 2, he announced. Emily's breath caught, adrenaline spiking. "This is real," she whispered, voice firm. Alex met her determined gaze. "We'll face it together," he promised. Her fear settled into steel resolve. She squared her shoulders, ready at last, but the garage door remained ajar. Outside, shadows moved in the dim light. Emily gripped her gloves, chest pounding. She felt capable, yet knew danger lurked. Training had forged her strength and hope. Now she faced the unknown threat ahead. Alex led Emily through the dim corridor. His flashlight cut through thick shadows. They reached a locked door to the records room. Alex swiped an ID badge to open it. Inside, rows of patient files glinted under dull lights. He searched for evidence against the hooded figures. Emily scanned the room, heart in her throat. Alex paused at a file stamped confidential. He slid it from the shelf and handed it to her. Her hands trembled as she read the name. It was Carol Grant's file, her mother's. Emily's breath caught in shock. Carol had no medical issues listed here, but hidden inside was a digital key card. Alex frowned. "Your mother works here," he said softly. Emily's head spun with betrayal. Carol never mentioned this job. "Why lie?" Emily whispered, voice tight. Alex traced the card's code with his thumb. "It opens the basement vault," he said. Emily's pulse thundered at the secret. She wiped tears from her cheek. Her mother, hiding in plain sight. Outside, footsteps echoed in the hall. Alex pocketed the key card. "Someone's coming," he warned. He pulled Emily behind a filing cabinet. A nurse in scrubs stepped inside. She held a clipboard, eyes flicking to them. "Dr. Cole wants these charts," she said. Emily recognized the nurse. Molly. Her best friend's face turned cold. Molly handed over the charts without greeting. Her eyes avoided Emily's. Alex and Emily exchanged stunned looks. Molly turned and left swiftly. Emily's chest tightened with hurt. "Molly would never betray me," she said. Alex's jaw clenched. "She's under pressure," he said. "Either from him or someone higher." Emily's thoughts raced. Could Molly work for Ryan's old circle? Could her own mother be involved? She clutched the file to her chest. A fresh alarm wailed somewhere nearby. Alex grabbed her arm gently. "We can't trust anyone here," he said. Emily nodded, fear lacing her resolve. They slipped from the records room. Hall lights flickered as they moved. Emily's mind whirled with betrayal. Her mother, her friend, the surgeon, all connected, in a dangerous web. Alex led her to the vault door. He held up the key card. "It ends here," he whispered. Emily pressed the card to the reader. The lock clicked, and the door glided open. Inside lay stacks of patient dossiers. At the center sat a small metal box. Alex lifted it with gloved hands. He opened the lid. Inside, photographs of Emily at 17, and a hospital badge with Ryan's photo. Emily stared in horror. Someone had documented her life. Ryan's badge beside her teenage pictures. "He's watched me all these years," she thought. Alex's voice broke the silence. "He planned this." Emily's knees shook under the weight. Shock and anger flooded her veins. But determination sparked in her eyes. She stepped forward. "No more secrets," she vowed softly. Alex nodded, closing the box. They turned to leave, but the door slammed shut behind them. Footsteps thundered in the hall. A voice called, "Don't move." Emily froze in the vault's cold glow. Her breath caught as danger closed in. Emily's heart pounded in the silent hallway. Red emergency lights flickered overhead. Alex pressed a finger to his lips. They crept toward the heavy exit door. Footsteps thundered on the linoleum floor. A shadow filled the corridor's end. Ryan Cole's silhouette halted in the glow. His mask lay pulled down on his chin. His eyes blazed with cold determination. "Going somewhere?" his voice echoed. Emily froze. Breath caught in her chest. Alex stepped forward protectively. Ryan's gaze flicked to the metal box. "You found my collection," he said softly. Emily's pulse hammered against her ribs. Memories of his teenage cruelty surfaced. Anger flared in her chest. "You watched me," she whispered. He nodded, stepping closer. "I had to know why you left." Alex planted himself beside Emily. Ryan's gaze moved between them. "Why?" Emily demanded, voice trembling. He sighed, pinching the bridge of his nose. "It wasn't you," he said quietly. "It was my father's orders." Her brow knitted in confusion. Ryan continued, voice raw. "He forced me to cut ties. My father ran a medical cartel." Emily's stomach lurched at the confession. Alex's eyes widened in shock. "He threatened my career," Ryan said. "I couldn't risk exposing him." Emily's anger wrestled with pity. "Then you framed me," she accused. "I took my revenge," he admitted. Alex tensed, ready to attack. Ryan raised a hand to halt him. "I'm sorry," he said, voice cracked. Emily's tears fell in spite of her. A distant crash echoed behind them. The hooded figures breached the corridor. They carried weapons and masked faces. Alex grabbed Emily's hand. "Move!" he hissed urgently. They sprinted toward the stairwell. Doors. Bullets ricocheted off metal walls. Emily's lungs burned with each breath. They dove into the stairwell gap, Alex slammed the door shut. They leaned against the cool concrete. Up, Alex urged, leading the way. They climbed 2 flights without pause. Footholds echoed on the fire escape. Rain pelted their backs outside. The city skyline shimmered in nightlights. Emily's legs trembled on the ledge. Alex braced against the railing. Below, figures searched the stairwell first floor. Emily spotted a narrow gap to a rooftop below. "Can we jump?" she whispered. Alex measured the distance quickly. "It's close," he said. Ryan's voice called from behind. "Wait," he shouted. Emily paused, torn by fear. Alex looked back with alarm. "They're coming," he said. Emily's breath caught. She glanced at Ryan's outstretched hand. He had followed them up. His expression was urgent, sincere. "Trust me," he said softly. A silhouette climbed behind him. A hooded figure reached the roof's edge. Emily's chest tightened with dread. Alex grabbed her wrist. "Jump," he urged. Emily nodded, eyes on the gap. She sprinted and leapt. With all her might, her body sliced through the cold air. She landed hard on the lower roof. Pain shot through her ankle. She gasped but stayed upright. Alex followed immediately behind. Ryan jumped gracefully after them. The hooded figures pressed at the edge. Emily limped toward the adjacent rooftop. Alex helped her balance. Ryan motioned urgently back to the stairwell. "One of them has a gun," he warned. A bright muzzle flash lit the night sky. Bullets chipped concrete at their feet. Emily's instincts screamed to run. Alex swept her into a protective stance. Ryan drew his own weapon. He fired 2 precise shots downward. The attackers stumbled back in shock. Emily's pulse thundered with adrenaline. She realized Ryan aimed to save them. Alex grabbed her other hand. "This way," he urged. They dashed along the rooftop's edge. Rain slicked the shingles underfoot. Emily slipped, but Alex caught her. They reached an unlocked door. Alex kicked it open with force. They tumbled into a dark maintenance closet. Alex locked the handle behind them. Emily pressed her back to the wall. Her breath came in ragged gasps. Ryan crouched beside her. He removed his mask completely. She saw tears glisten in his eyes. "I never meant to hurt you," he said. Emily's breath caught at his confession. Alex peered through a vent. "No, one's coming," he whispered. Emily's fear wavered into exhaustion. She sank to the floor. Ryan sat across from her. He held out the metal box. "I'm ending this," he said. Emily recognized the hospital badge inside. Her own high school. ID peeked out. Ryan pressed the box shut. He set it on the floor. "I've exposed my father," he said. "The cartel is finished." Emily's eyes filled with disbelief. Alex nodded, relief softening his features. Emily stood shakily. She faced Ryan directly. "Why now?" she asked. Ryan inhaled deeply. "You taught me forgiveness," he said. "I never forgot your kindness." Emily's chest tightened at the memory. She felt tears spill freely. Ryan offered his hand once more. "Can you forgive me?" he asked. Emily hesitated, heart torn. Sirens wailed distantly below. Rain pattered on the roof above. Her eyes met his in the dim light. She placed her hand in his. A surge of hope warmed her veins. Alex smiled gently, stepping back. They heard footsteps retreat in the hall. Emily exhaled, sinking into steadier breaths. Ryan squeezed her hand softly. The city lights flickered beyond the vents. Thunder rolled across the stormy sky. She realized the worst was over. For now, at least. Her future lay in uncertain hands. But on this rooftop, she chose trust. And in that moment, she felt alive. Dawn broke over Chicago's skyline in soft pink. Emily stepped onto her porch, bandaged ankle steady. Jake waited with coffee and warm muffins. He pulled her into a gentle hug. "How do you feel?" he asked softly. She smiled, warmth spreading in her chest. "Stronger than ever," she replied. Carol emerged from the side gate. Her eyes held pride and relief. "I'm sorry I kept secrets," she said. Emily shook her head, tears glistening. "You protected me," she whispered. They embraced, forgiveness in each heartbeat. Alex visited later at Emily's home. He carried Luna in his arms. The cat meowed and nuzzled Emily's cheek. Alex set Luna down gently. "I'm glad you're safe," he said. Emily offered tea on the porch. They watched the sunrise in comfortable silence. That afternoon, Emily arrived at Hope Clinic. A police car blocked the entrance. Detectives escorted Ryan past the cone. He nodded to Emily as they passed. Inside, the hospital board displayed a notice. Dr. Ryan Cole cleared of misconduct. Staff applauded quietly in the lobby. Ryan stopped by Emily's classroom later. She taught a lesson on cell mitosis. He leaned by the door quietly. Her students barely noticed his presence. When class ended, she packed her bag. Ryan approached with cautious respect. "Thank you," he said, voice soft, "for trusting me on that rooftop." Emily met his gaze, calm and clear. "You saved my life," she replied. He exhaled, relief shining in his eyes. "I'll always be here," he promised. That evening, Emily hosted a small gathering. Molly arrived with fresh cinnamon rolls. Her apology was sincere and heartfelt. "I never meant to betray you," she said. Emily hugged her tight with forgiveness. They laughed over coffee and sweet pastries. In the backyard, fairy lights twinkled above. Jake lit candles on the picnic table. Carol placed a bouquet of daisies nearby. Alex handed Emily a small envelope. Inside lay hospital records cleared of errors. He winked. No more secrets. Emily's laughter rang bright in the summer air. Later, she sat alone on her porch swing. Luna curled at her feet. Emily glanced at the calendar. July 1st, surgery recovery complete. She marked it with a star. A gentle breeze rustled the hydrangeas. Emily closed her eyes and breathed deep. "I survived fear and found forgiveness," she thought. "I'm ready for whatever comes next." Lightning bugs flickered in the garden dusk. Ryan emerged at her gate quietly. He held a single white rose. "May I?" he asked, gesture open. Emily nodded, heart fluttering in her chest. He handed her the rose gently. Its petals brushed her palm softly. She inhaled the flower's sweet fragrance. Ryan's eyes glowed with hope and respect. They stood under the night sky together. Stars shimmered like distant promises. Emily took a hopeful step forward. He slipped his hand into hers. The future lay unwritten before them. But in that moment, hope bloomed anew, and their shared past became a bridge, leading them toward a brighter tomorrow.